I'm going to break down this Baylor volleyball roster, and I tell you right now, it's not as deep as last year with over 20 players. This is just like 15 players. And they lost 11 seniors. Some of those seniors were 4-year players, and they're transferred out somewhere else. Cherno Bromsharber, for example, is now at Wisconsin. And ironically, Baylor will play Wisconsin. Dallas Baptist for AJ Coley. And I know for sure an undergrad is transferred out somewhere. Marie Vandermark is at SMU now. So it's very, very young, and you did lose your best two setters on the team last year. So they're very, very inexperienced at that spot. Both of them are freshmen, but Avery Carlson was a national player of the year out of high school, and she was at the ESPYs, the past ESPYs. So she's definitely good enough to start. And granted, I know both of them are freshmen, what they have on the roster, and Brianna Denny as well. But this is a really, and when I look at the opposite position, if you want to include the outside hitter / opposite, as in like Riley Simpson and Lise McGee, and the other freshman, SCZECH, the sophomores, redshirt freshmen, and freshmen. Very, very young. But it's not including Callie Davis as a junior and Sophia Keene as a freshman, Alexis DaCosta as a freshman, and Lauren Harrison, she's back, and that's huge because she was the most production we returning this year in terms of that position. So as you could tell, there's only like 2 upperclassmen at that spot. And Cassie Davis did not play that much. Yeah, she didn't play. She only had she had 3 kills last year. And obviously Lauren Harrison had 241. She's got to have to be the vocal point this year. She's got to be at that position. Besides relying on freshmen. I mean, but when I look at the middle blocker position, you do have a senior in Kara McGee. She's a 4th year, and you got a grad transfer, Mallory Talbert from Texas A&M. And that Texas A&M transfer was much, much needed. So you got a good 1-2 punch at that spot, in my opinion. But after that, it's very, very young. Like Ava Grace Haggard is a sophomore. Alicia Andrew is a redshirt freshman. So half of them are very, very young. But they're talented based on high school stuff. And they're all above. So really, that's really good news. Of course, the libero spot / defensive specialist, Lauren Rosino, is back. And thank goodness she played a lot last year. Considering, we lost Chanel Bromsharber to Wisconsin. So, yeah. And Faith Lynch is back as well. She's a redshirt freshman, so she didn't play that much last year. So, it's very, very young as a whole because there's only 3 seniors on the team, and 2 of those are 4th year, one's a 5th year. So, obviously, after this season, we'll lose the 5th year for sure. But the other 2 could come back for 1 more year. Technically. And there's only 1 junior on the team. The rest, sophomores, redshirt freshmen, or freshmen. Yeah, that's a lot of inexperience, as you could tell. It's not really an easy schedule to begin with, too. I mean, the first 3 matches are tough. Like, you have to play Wisconsin, Minnesota, who went to the Elite Eight and beat us last year. Wisconsin's the national champion. And Pepperdine, that's an NCAA tournament team by the round of 64, but still. That's in the first two, neutral site in Fort Worth, while Pepperdine's on the road. So it's not an easy schedule by any means. So, but Mallory Talbot last year at A&M, 238 kills. So that's pretty good on 547 attempts. So really not a bad number. She did have 11 solo blocks and 88 blocks assisted. So that's a really quality right there to have that experience. And I know the question becomes how they're gonna gel this year, because they're very, very inexperienced and they're gonna have to be more consistent. I think this is a team this year that is good enough to make the NCAA tournament, but not like Final Four. For sure not. Unless they go out and surprise me. But maybe Elite Eight, but that's even pushing it a little bit. So I would say Sweet 16. Round 64 to Sweet 16. That's my educated guess right now. So, but the good news is they're going to get better as the season goes on. And I think this year's team is going to build for the following year. Because if you bring back everyone except that one player that's a fifth year, plus all the recruits, I think you'll be in a much better position. So, I just want to break it down. And it's only a 15-player roster, so granted, it is smaller than last year. But whoever ever thought we would have 11 seniors last year that left? I mean, some of those were fifth year. I get it. But those fourth year ones, I would have hoped they would have come back, but I understood why they left. And granted, I know Marie Vandermark was a fifth year as well, but she had another year of eligibility to come back to Baylor. And she's getting her master's degree at SMU now, so, you know. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys later. It's going to be 400 subscribers or more by the end of this year.